Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting and amazing Propagandacast. I'm your host, Pearl Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda, heel site defender of the fatherland. Off here to a glorious 1v1 on Faymonville Approach. Yeah, it's Faymonville Approach again. In the north, it is Angreifen fighting for the Oberkommandwest, Germany, Deutschland. Back to playing as the Germans as of late. They're having had a rather significant stint as the Allies. Taking on the role here, though, of let's just go with Göring Fallschirm Panzergrenadier Division, or Panzer Division later on. It was a division that went on a lot of names, or shall we say unit names. Here with Feuersturm featuring the Flam Hetzer, the assault packages, incendiary munitions, all blitzes and rocket barrage. In the southeast there's Nolokos fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Comrade Stalin. Here with Guard Motor, armored assault and airborne troops, double counters there. A Feuersturm and start here for Angreifen. We'll have to see what Nolokos goes for here as he fights for the 10th Tank Corps. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters, champion heroes, one and all. Without them, this episode of something else would not be possible. So big thanks goes out to all those who support me that way. Other people who join my Patreon on Patreon, they can donate via PayPal. And finally, commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, all helps. We get a very aggressive push with the Sturmpuning. In this case, though, thwarted by Nolokos, making use of the building here to cut them down. Kuba and Fulton following up here. That said, I would argue it's the right way to use the Sturmpioneers. A lot of times I see people not using the Sturmpioneers. Aggressive state using them to like cap points far behind. That said, the way he ended up engaging, though, was less efficient. But on a basic level, I think he kind of did the right thing. It's just how he went about it was a bit flawed. Third transporter here for Nolokos. We'll have to see what he goes for. There's certainly a few options here for Nolokos and the Red Army as Angreifen and the Germany moves ahead here. The Göring Fallschirm Panzer Division was Hermann Göring's little pet project. In a sense, it started initially as a police unit, got upgraded to a flak unit, then a sort of more militarized unit. That one became the Panzer Division that fought in North Africa and Tunisia specifically, then became a Panzer Division. It also fought in Italy and later would fight on the Eastern Front. Eventually we got upgraded to a full Panzer Corps with a Panzer Division and a Panzer Grenadier Division named after Hermann Göring, and its own Panzer Fusilier unit as well. So yeah, little fun fact there. Up north we got Fulton Fords here. Conscript Walk there on the way for Nolokos. Third Fulton there on the way for Angreifen. Fourth Conscript there makes it very likely it's going to be either airborne troop tactics or armoured assault here from Nolokos. We'll have to see though versus the Oberkommandwest. Airborne troops tend to be more popular since the weapon crate drop there with the S-5040s tends to be a very good upgrade against the Feuersturm. Gives your conscripts a much stronger fighting chance. Plus the disc has you also, pretty good heavy machine guns that really add some punch too. So we'll have to see there. But I'd say we're now looking at the sort of general trends here. Very likely it's going to go for airborne troop tactics. Somewhat like the armored assault, but also somewhat like you go for Guard Motor. It's much rarer to go for 4 conscripts and go for Guard Motor, but you still see some players occasionally do it. Meanwhile, Nolokos here doing an effective job disrupting Angreifen's fuel income there already, hitting points, raiding, and sort of just being a nuisance. Angreifen just trying to get as much as can with the Kubwagen, leaving the infantry to the fighting, which is typically how you want to do it. Better moving here as well there, but he's already pulling back troops there. Feuersturm is advancing there for the German army, constantly shot to bits here by the Feuersturm. Engineers here awaiting medics for Nolokos. We'll have to see what he goes for. Would not be surprised to see a flamethrower here, but no flamethrower yet. Field hospital done. Truck on the way there for Angreifen. We'll have to see how much he makes use of the commander here. Quick go for a flamethrower right now, which will obviously add some punch to the Soviet infantry. That obviously would leave him a bit more exposed to Soviet mines, and a lot of Soviet players like to lay down mines, so it's definitely a bit risky there. On the other hand, if you take the initiative to make it work, it can also, to some degree make up for not being able to, spot mines. But that said, if Nolokos does go for airborne troop tactics, the flamethrowers are going to be amazing, because again, it's going to force them to consider either mines or weapon upgrades. So there's definitely some potential options there for Angreifen would be considering right now here. More conscript arriving there. Truck like going to be a battle group head. It actually could be mechanized. Some players with Feuersturm like to go for mechanized, can use a blitz truck there as a way to heal their units, basically serving as an ambulance without having to build a battle group headquarters, which is a much more slow and cumbersome and still a bit more expensive than going just for the double blitz. So you will still see players go for the double blitz if they intend to go mechanized. But there you go, we do get a battle group headquarters here. clearly indicating no intent here from Angreifen towards pulling up, you know, that. So we probably won't be seeing the double blitz there. Angreifen has never been a large mechanized / motorized infantry player, which would really then be his only purpose in getting the upper blitz out. Nothing wrong in that, of course, but just a bit of a comment there. So far, the Nolokos still looking very strong. Very close to being able to go for airborne troop tactics, dropping those S-50-40s, constantly out and around the centre here for the glorious Red Army. Fixing up points there, skirmishing here. Folks, they're being shot a bit for the conscripts. Troops being about here, and we got the mechanised command post there on the way for Angreifen. Very good chance of seeing a flat half track here, but he may also skip and just push ahead there for the Schwerpanzer quarters. He could theoretically, you know, rush for the Flam Hetzer instead, which would definitely be amusing. But now we do get the flat half track there. We also got some tech there in the base for Nolokos. Thumbs up. Tank will be 10 command there. We also, as mentioned, have the flamethrowers here, the Flammenwerfer 35, which would later be replaced by the Flammenwerfer 41, which was overall lighter and at better range. Fun fact about flamethrowers, they would typically fire a mix of tar and, you know, something flammable, you know, fuel. That way, creating a very viscous mix that could also be, you know, projected much more easily. But also, you know, once it got stuck, you know, you were in trouble. Coming northwards against the counters there, falsifying way at them as well. Flak half track almost on there for Angreifen and the German army. Tankovic, the tank command up there for Nolokos, which will like the result in a T-70 here versus Angreifen to call for someone to go for a Kettenwerfer. As always, that T-70 can easily chew up Angreifen very aggressively. Up north here, counters right here by Angreifen's men. No some upgrades for the Volksgrenadiers, neither the assault package or the Sturmgewehr 44 assault rifle package. Flak after quick rushing south at sea, allowing Angreifen to seize control of both fuel points. That's stepping up for that as an Nolokos, slows down the T-70, and of course allows Angreifen to accelerate towards whatever's next. He's going for the MD-34 first. Timing wise, that's definitely a bit ambitious. Like 7 minutes, particularly like, you know, his opponent's been fairly good control in terms of fuel. It's typically when you should expect the T-70, but Nolokos has not quite been able to go there, so seems like Angreifen has a fairly good read in the situation here versus Nolokos in terms of resource. We do get a field gun there, the SIS-3. Obviously, he's not quite there with the T-70, and he needs to stop that flak half track before the flak half track stops his men dead. Ground points here, sandbags there and there. Troops sitting out here. Sandbags done. Field gun out. Comes reinforcing healing. Medics hard at work there. Sturmpionier laying down the Schützenminus 40. Folks going out around the car plant, concentrating in there with their mercenary guns. Points being seized then. Guineas being forced to the flamethrower. Up north here, points being seized. Flak half track moving ahead here. We got Sturmgewehrs there, so probably not going to go for an MP40s, unfortunately. From my perspective, anyways. In this case, a bit more of a matter of taste, but I do like the MP40 upgrade. Does add some significant punch. You can allow to quickly wipe out units if your opponent is a bit careless. Also works really well with the over blitz. Flak half track nasty hit from the SIS-3 Division field gun. Hermann Göring, Fallschirm, Panther Division, its other units were typically, though, well equipped with flak guns because, of course, you know, Hermann Göring could ensure they had a lot of flak guns compared to, like, you know, the average German unit. So that meant, you know, large percentage of flak 88s and all the other flak guns there they could manage. Flak after knocked out a good mine here from Nolokos, completely blows apart here Angreifen's flak half track. That's actually a significant tactical win, as it didn't really get to do too much damage, didn't get to go to Vetsy 2, it becomes really good, so really leaves Angreifen here more exposed versus Nolokos, and he's about to get hit by the T-70, and once more it is worth pointing out, Angreifen has 0 anti-tank weapons, so this is definitely a precarious position here, and a great opportunity for Nolokos to hit Angreifen hard and overwhelm him with the power of Leninist Marxism. This is Marxist-Leninism. Anyways. Force being hammered with the T-70 light tender, it's Ford family gun raking hot death into them. Raketenwerfer anti-tank one final weather for Angreifen, fairly late in response to the T-70. Feel like he should have predicted the T-70 here. But looks like Angreifen was very, very hopeful that, you know, they wouldn't go for it. Come on, Ivan, you don't need that light tank. Don't make me go for the Rakettenwerfer. I'd rather go for something to murder infantry with. MD-34 dealing with the conscripts. Rakettenwerfer out there. Rakettenwerfer, always a fun fact, was sort of an initial thing when they were also developing the Panther strike, as they weren't entirely sure how to, like, you know, do it. Like, you know, rocket launcher weapon like that. It's like, you know, should be using an anti-tank gun or a person-mounted weapon, and it turns out, you know, Panther strikes work much better than the Rakettenwerfer. So while some were produced, they were not produced in, like, massive numbers. And again, the primary weapon turned out to be the Panther strike, which would actually replace anti-tank guns in general as well as the war went on. Up north here, folks, going for the conscripts up here. No submachine guns. Again, just assault rifle upgrades down the way. In the south here, we can see Nolokos is trying to push up this very slowly. We still haven't seen a commander. It could be armored assault, then it could still be Guard Motor, but I feel like you should have gone like for something sooner. And I feel like this is a slightly missed opportunity here by Nolokos versus Angreifen. I don't know if Angreifen like made huge use of his commander yet. Imaginally, like, if he had, then Nolokos could be definitely, I think, in a slightly less favored position. Also looks like Angreifen has lost a foot in his court there. Good kill for Nolokos in the Red Army. He's definitely landing some of those hits, though Angreifen is actually managing some fairly decent victory point control here over Nolokos in the Red Army, so that's pretty good for him. Schwer up, Panzer quarter going up here for Angreifen. Could go for some orbital and then to help make up for these infantry losses. We'll have 2 course flops then for Angreifen. In this case, he could technically even get away with the Flam Hetzer here versus Nolokos and the Red Army. Though whether or not he commits that, of course, is an entirely different subject matter. But he could. Sturmpineming hit there with the Flammenwerfer. Conscripts quickly retreating in the face of this incendiary weapon of death and demise. MD-34, they need repair, or reinforcements, not so much repairs. We're going on the centre here. North side could actually be open there for a push for Angreifen. Schwerpanzer quarters done. He can then go for some Oberstladen already now. Would be able to upgrade them right away, but still, in just like a base Oberstladen squad, there is still a fairly solid infantry squad due to the sheer experience with the K9 TK Lands perform much better in terms of DPS. Mine goes off, they're killing Konstantin and Vladislav there, leaving them dead in the dirt. Cool bound up with conscripts, moving forwards here. Oberstladen squad there is on the way, but it's worth noting that the reason it's not being built is because he first went for the authorization. Which also slows down the Flam Hetzer, which technically doesn't need it. If he is planning for that, of course, probably isn't. Likely to go for the Panther 4, but if, say, he was going for the Flam Hetzer, he'd be a bit off just, you know, not authorizing right away. Nolokos still some time away from taking up. Still no commander chosen from Nolokos. Starting to look a lot like armored assault. I mean, at this point, most players would have gone for airborne troop tactics. He could still end up going for it, but I would definitely have to describe that as a very inefficient pick of the commander. It might be sort of like alternating between these two in case like he loses a conscript, he can then still technically go for Guard Motor, calling the Guardsman as a replacement, and then calling the T-3045s perhaps. I mean, I feel like that perhaps is a bit too reactive though in my perspective. If that is how he intends to play the commanders. Conquering 40, Oberstladen squad nearby. Still a bit more to go for than we could with the MG-34. One of the main machine guns of the German army, obviously alongside the MG-42, though there's also the MG-15, which was a sort of infantry version of the MG-17, which was an aircraft machine gun, but as they needed bigger and bigger guns, they just suddenly found themselves with a massive surplus of, well, machine guns, you know, for aircraft that didn't need them, so they actually start converting those MG-17s to, like, you know, land-based machine guns for the infantry, which roughly had the same rate of fire as an MG-42 as a fun fact. Perhaps a bit faster, perhaps a bit slower. Anyways, push up north here as Nolokos strikes back. Angreifen's fuel of Raspberry is definitely turned to be quite effective. Good pushes here by Angreifen, strikes with near surgical precision against Nolokos supply lines. That is excellent play there, and there we go. We do get heavy mortars with Guard Motor. So again, in the end, he did sort of dither about. They're going for Guard Motor in the end, but at that point, you know, looking back at this, he could have gone for this much sooner. But either way, here we are. But at least, as I would say, it's not the typical way of going for Guard Motors. I suppose there's a bit of excitement there, but yeah, Guard Motors again is just the most hyper-efficient commander in the game, period. And obviously, the most hyper-efficient Soviet commander. So that probably needs T-35s. As for Angreifen, there's still quite a bit of manpower floating there. He needs to go for more Obersoldaten here versus Nolokos. Barnhand gonna let off there. Conscious they're burning up and they're getting shot to bits. Not really nice faith either way. Could we get to leave the fire, comrades? Niet. You must stand firm, even if your body will not soon stand firm due to the fire destroying it. Second Obersoldat squad there for Angreifen. Could also go for the Flam Hetzer if that's what he truly desires. But again, I guess he just, does not want to unleash a Feuersturm on his opponents. Ken falling back here. Obersoldat squad there, halfway done here for Angreifen. Gunhunt gone out of there. Oh, he does go for the Flam Hetzer now. That's exciting. That is very exciting. It's only starting to look like this map has a tendency to, drawing in the pyromaniacs. First eats with the incendiary bombing runs and the heavy bombing strikes, now Angreifen with Flam Hetzers and flamethrowers. North here we got countries they backed up at the T-70 here. At least German pyromaniacs anyways. Not quite seeing the same from the Allies. Anti-tank grenade at the Kupelwagen there. Up north, T-70 strikes at the machine gun position, forcing Angreifen to vacate the premises. Flamethrower Hetzer there, halfway done. Based, of course, off the Hetzer. The Flam Hetzer was special made, actually, for the fighting around the Maginot Line. It was meant to take part in Operation Nordwind. Only 13 of them were made, too. Machine gun wiped out there. Also, name moving ahead for the glory of Deutschland. Flam Hetzer almost done. Machine gun there caught here by Nolokos men. The T-70 moving in. They're trying to keep the Obersoldat from wiping out the machine crews to retreat. Chances there are definitely not impossible, but there's also a good chance the MD-34 just gets wiped. Meanwhile, Flam Hetzer moving forward. See, fun fact about the Flam Hetzer and basically the Hetzer, it actually had a really strong frontal armor. While it may just be 60mm, it's also much more sloped than most other armor, meaning it actually had fairly high effectiveness, as long as it wasn't the shots that are too strong due to overmatching. But in a lot of situations, it actually had armor that was roughly comparable to that of a Panther, maybe even a bit better due to the significantly sloped armor there on the Flam Hetzer and the Hetzer. On the other hand, the side and rear armor was pretty much non-existent. It was basically the same thickness as that on the 251 half track. So, bit of a fun fact there on the Flam Hetzer. Got it from the field and there, punching straight through the Flam Hetzer side armor. Got one kill on it so far, no pin-up machine that being added. Burning through the assist field gun there as well. One kill, half 8 of F-1, nasty from the field gun. Now the fun fact is the Hetzer's design was actually based off a Romanian assault gun. Can't quite remember its name, but apparently the Germans looked at it and went, that's a pretty neat design, then would apply that to the Hetzer. Specifically again, it's sort of the sharply sloped armor on it. I got the name almost there on my tongue, but I just can't quite remember it. I think it's actually a tank destroyer, but you kind of get the idea. Other way, fix up the Flam Hetzer here. They also made a few other sort of designs, for example, one with a 150mm howitzer, or heavy infantry gun actually. One copy of that was made. They also tried to make a armored personnel carrier known as the Volkskette, but that never came out in time either. So, little fun fact there. In the south here we got certain infantry up there from the Nolokos command, no sign of guardsmen. Mechanized armored cabinet, of course T-35s. We'll of course have to see how Angreifen shot up against that. We'll go for Panther 4s. Will he play for Panthers? Angreifen very much is a player with a penchant for the heavier stuff there, so I would not be surprised if we're not going for a Panthers. That very much kind of fits with Angreifen's overall MO when he was playing with the Germans. Heavy mortar hit there, obliterate several Obersoldat members there. Flam Hetzer moving forwards. No sign of the panel-mounted MD-34. Running through the conscripts. Kedmev keeps missing the T's, and that is quite impressively awkward there for Angreifen. The South Fuel being claimed back with the Red Army, got 280 with 269. Flam Hetzer advancing, burning through the Bolsheviks. Definitely giving Nolokos there a bit of a hard time, but there you go, straight to the field gun there. Shot bounced. Swing to the base of the Panther as the T's running light tank, filtering forward here. Damaging the T-70. Constantly there being burned by the Flam Hetzer here. Burning through it rapidly, and there you go, they're going to rush with their anti-tank grenades, but this is going to take a lot of damage in the process, even more if they remember to upgrade to the Pinlight machine. In fact, ends up wiping the conscript squad. Certainly showing the Flam Hetzer can be quite nasty under the right circumstances. Like your opponent is deciding to charge into like a massive flamethrower. Do not worry, comrades! Shield yourselves with the asbestos that is socialism! I don't think that's how it works! Shut up and just charge! Charge. Hey, more to them being pushed back. Gasping out there for Nolokos in response to his conscript squad being incinerated. The Kenny over there for Angreifen. That's it. Nolokos closing in the T-35. Need to fix up that Flam Hetzer pretty schnell. And really should upgrade it with the Pinlight machine gun. Sadly, they kind of went with the second accuracy since the MD-34 and the Flam Hetzer the Hetzer in German could actually be operated from inside the Hetzer there, known as Rundumsfeuer. In fact, later model Stug 3Gs would be equipped with the same machine gun. Further highlighting, it was an assault gun and not the tank destroyer, because you're not going to add like a remote controlled machine gun and simply on a tank destroyer. Still not late into the war when you're restructuring the resources. Grenade then being pushed back the Obersoldaten. Very wise retreat there by Angreifen. Flam Hetzer being fixed up. Denise here holding up in the south. Putting forwards there as well for Angreifen here. Folks with the ultimate wiped out. That did be a bit painfully for him. Close there, but yeah, that was really close though. Supremely close. Hey, more to the Solana. We got 7 kills on it. Close phase through there for Nolokos. Can go for the T-35 now, and there it goes on the way. Angreifen, meanwhile, no clarity what he's planning. Could he be planning a King Tiger? Though I think that would be much too ambitious here for Angreifen. Also, chance he's just playing for the Panther. We'll have to see in the centre. They're so infantry caught here by the Obersoldaten. Both squads moving in there and absolutely eliminating anything remotely Bolshevik. In the north here, slowly being pushed back here. Nolokos managed forced to retreat. And in the south here, Flam Hetzer on the move once more for Deutschland. McKenna getting hit in the T-70, punching straight for the rearmament. Shot there through the side armour. Field can penetrate the frontal arm, but there you go, being burned up. Head on. Incinerating the crew again. 9 kills. Close eventually 2. Driving straight to the base here. Angreifen fearlessly dispatches his Flam Hetzer until then, of course, get attacked by the T-35. Shot bounces there. That's pretty lucky. Though at that point, something goes wrong here. Either he intentionally moves forward, there's a pathing error happens, either way he ends up kind of throwing away the Flam Hetzer versus Nolokos, which is great for Nolokos, but definitely problematic for Angreifen in the extreme. Plus, as the Kednevs, this further situation completely goes haywire. Like a cat playing with something it shouldn't play with. You see one Kednev wiped out, the other also being wiped out, the Flam Hetzer goes up in flames, this is turning into a complete nightmare for Angreifen. Nolokos here just managed to catch Angreifen completely flat-footed. Wipes 2 like Kednevs. One of them is definitely, I think, going to be seized here by Nolokos and turned against Angreifen, and the other one, I think, could be destroyed here. No, he's going to make a run for it here and try and grab it before. Not. Oh, he can't do that without risking losing the entire Volkskongress squad there, though there's another squad nearby. No support here from the rest of the Nolokos forces. Need to get them going rapidly here. T-34 killed close veterans 1. There's pretty fierce fighting here. Still Angreifen, despite these losses, maintains good map control here, and Nolokos is just reacting not with enough alacrity, I think, to really turn this around swiftly enough here. Giving, I think, Angreifen more time to lock down a potential counterattack here by Nolokos and actually maintain map control despite otherwise fairly intensive losses. But there you go, Orbison further around here to stabilize the situation, thrusting them into the thick of it here, into the breach. Like Germanic flex tape there. Kuba knows the conscripts, MD-34 stopping up here, and with this, The breach in the front line has for now been stopped. And Nolokos again just kind of lost some opportunity. He should have swung northwards, he's sort of around there instead of just like moving out in one force there. But he was clearly a bit desperate here to turn the situation around as Angreifen and causing him to flub up here. Both of his tanks probably in danger repairs as well here. Situation for Nolokos looking a bit rough here, despite again causing substantial losses there to Angreifen. In fact, he has a much larger force running than Angreifen, but again, the way Nolokos has been playing it and that one MG34 has really left Nolokos unable to really, flex it. Angreifen here, guessing he's going to go for the Panther. He could go for the King Tiger, but I think if he tried to go for the King Tiger now, he would most certainly hand the fight over there to Nolokos and the Red Army. But the Panther, while I still wouldn't call it an amazing choice, would certainly not, I think, concede the match right now. So, there you go. Panther's on the way there for Angreifen. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. Pride of the Vaterland. North here, Ponting sees for the conscript. Thyssen racing in there. Got an Oberstland squad, they're ready to move in. Kuhwagen there doing some light self-repairs when he finds himself rudely interrupted. Actually got an ace Kuhwagen here from Angreifen. 2 thumbs up. Look at this, Jürgen! The heroes! Yeah, as long as the Russians don't capture us, otherwise we're war criminals. We've just been driving a Kugelwagen. Have you seen the Russians? They'll find any excuse to get you killed if they can. South here, we get more push for the centre there in the south. Further south, Nolokos is gobbling up the entire southern front there. So he's managed to now push back, despite that initial setback, but now Angreifen is closing on that Panther, and he still does have a significant infantry component, in particular the Zorbsoldaten. So there you go, Panzerkampfwagen 5. Kuhwagen there survives the hit from the 85mm gun of the T-35. That is quite something else. Jürgen, we alive! Yeah! I'm actually surprised. I didn't think the Kugelwagen could take an 85mm hit. Panther lands got it on the T-35. Another field gun on the way from Nolokos. The cabinet of their calls orbs at the ready. Mark targeting the Panther as it fires into the T-70's armor. Cleanly shearing through the armor. And there you go, T-70 down. Never really stood a chance against the Panther. The T-70 is outmatched in pretty much every way that matters in such an engagement anyways. Obviously you can kill infantry faster than the Panther, but when you're up against the Panther, that's not how you're going to win the fight against the Panther. Panther taking it from the Kenner straight for the side armor. Gasping up to push back the Kugelwagen. Schwer punted quarters there. Silent. Up north we got the Sturmpine advancing the northern vector point, equipped with a Panzerschreck, the Raketen Panzerbüchse. And the Oberstland swinging in against the conscripts. MG34 planning counter as well from the road. Definitely catches Nolokos' infantry in an awkward spot. Looks like he's planning for another T-35, which under the circumstances definitely makes a lot of sense. Almost wiped one of the Oberstland squads, but Nolokos, unfortunately for himself, but fortunately for Angreifen, falls a bit short there on delivering the killing blow. Sturmpioneer there at the ready to fix up the Panther, though he may want to pull it back to his base alongside the Sturmpioneer, to be honest. To be quite fair, I think there's a chance he could end up losing the Panther if like Nolokos strikes hard enough. Though so far Nolokos does not seem particularly interested in that. MG-45 on the centre could become a target, a victim here with a heavy mortar. Assault here from Angreifen catches the T-35 in a bad spot. They're forcing Nolokos to reposition it. He's still suffering power from quite intensive manpower bleed. Making it fairly difficult for Nolokos to call in more army here versus Angreifen. In this regard, the Oberstland are doing some good work there. Very much helping ensuring Nolokos can't push for more armour. Highlighting another one of those important relationship between tanks and armour. And, the overall purpose of anti-infantry at times as well. Constantly caught out here in the centre of the Oberstland, marching forwards and unleashing a torrent of lead there into the Soviet infantry. T-35 there, finding the war almost on its own by now. As the situation for Nolokos is steadily falling apart now in the face of Angreifen's increasingly bold attacks. The Kenner caught here with the Obersoldaten. T-35 flanked to the front, so we need to cap doesn't get Panther fast, so that could lead to some problems here for Nolokos and of course some great opportunities for Angreifen. Panther advances, though worth noting the Panther is significantly damaged here for Angreifen and he should repair it. Back here, Nolokos once more finds himself confined within his own base. Half decent mortar hit there, but ultimately not enough to do any killing. South Kuban hits a mine, but thanks to self-repairs, it can take care of it. That's it, that Kuban has suffered through a lot of abuse. My god, Jürgen, what keeps this Kuban together? German engineering, and yeah, I'm not entirely sure either. I don't think German engineering is that good. There's got to be something else in this thing. Kuban's conscripts, and there you go. In the end, the Kuban, despite an otherwise heroic track record here and is suffering much abuse in the end, cannot withstand a final anti-tank grenade. There's already trying to repair itself there. Meanwhile, another T-35 there only for Nolokos. Will Angreifen go for Jagdpanzer here, or will he go for a Panther 4? Will he try for another Panther? Or will he try and surprise us all with another Flam Hetzer? But Nolokos continues to find himself striking here against Angreifen's assault columns. Eventually Feeder, 28 kills. Might be looking to at the 29th kill. There we go. Does get it, but also suffers heavy losses on the opposite squad. There's some strikes, and there goes, suffers a wipe there. Heavy losses there for Nolokos. Just keeps impacting him and the Red Army. Panther moving forwards here with its 75mm high velocity gun. Good shot on the T-35. Punches through the frontal armor with ease. T-35 struggling, Kevin taking a hit there, and we do get a Flam Hetzer number 2 here from Angreifen. Ready to roast some more Russians. T-Flying good in the Panther. The Kevlin's good hit as well there. Heavy mortar there. Just continue to put some artillery support for Nolokos. He's launching another assault here through the center. T-Flying taking repeating hits here from both Panther Strike and the Panther, causing it to fall precipitously low than defense health. Meanwhile, but the other T-35 being pushed back by the Panther, which is now half HP 2. Flam Hetzer is almost done here for Angreifen. Nolokos thrusts his men forwards once more in another desperate bid to control the center victory point here against Angreifen and the German army. Panther being engaged, forces being routed. T-35 being fixed up. MG34 there for not MG34 Maxim machine gun for Nolokos. But he's managed to capture the center victory point here from Angreifen. But now the Flam Hetzer has arrived. Wait, where is it? Oh, it's there. Obviously, there was the T-35, definitely not the best engagement for them to be in, but with the Panther and like to back them up, they do stand a chance. Counter, there we go. T-35 cooked up here. Also charging forwards. Counter there. Field guns in particular being the big target for the opposite garden, though bunched up in front of the T-35. They need to be careful. There we go. Need to retreat them soon. Flam Hetzer going to come to the south there. We could see another full squad roasted. There we go. Another weapon for that. Nolokos realized the situation is beyond his control and concedes. A victory here for Angreifen and the German army. A fierce fight here with some rare incendiary use here of the Flam Hetzer. Plus some nice use of the upside here versus Nolokos. Nolokos, I think, at times did have the upper hand, but failed to quite exploit it, I think, efficiently. I think to focus on the center and just trying to wear down Angreifen with head-on assaults, which ultimately favored Angreifen and made it difficult for Nolokos to leverage one of the Soviet's major advantages, which, of course, is a, sheer swarm of tanks. And by doing that, and again, Nolokos just was unable to, get within winning reach, but also, that critical moment there, we actually managed to deliver some heavy loss to Angreifen. He failed to follow up on this attack, and that ultimate short, he just lost a massive opportunity. He wasn't able to punish Angreifen. And I think that was also a crucial moment there where just Nolokos could have done better here versus Angreifen. So there you go, though. Hope you enjoyed this match. I'll learn something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't tell your enemies. This is Imperial Links. Cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.